I'm going to take full responsibility for the 40-degree weather.
It's not very
Oh, it's outstanding. And our grounds crew guys over there, to think that you can walk through all the snow to get there and then go out on the field and you feel like you're at Augusta. You know, it's amazing what they do at the practice field. So, obviously, you know, big game. Minnesota coming in here, getting to play at our house again is always exciting for me. Getting to play at Lambeau, certainly our guys. You know, I think Minnesota's playing well. A couple weeks ago, they hit a kickoff return for a touchdown and against New England, and they just had a big block punt a week ago against the Giants, and they've had one blocked recently as well, and they blocked a field goal, and so I think this is a great challenge for us. Again, real excited to be home to play them. The magnification of this game is pretty obvious to all of us. So with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
Rich, how much does your strategy change, or those parameters, as you like to call them, if you don't have Keyshawn back there?
Well, I still think, we're always going to have parameters for, you know, who's back there. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job with it. You know, obviously, Coach talked about Romeo. We would have liked him to stay in. Anytime the ball's carrying you back that far into the end zone, we'd like you to stay in. But, you know, it was really Romeo's first time, and I think he was amped up to do it a little bit and just made a bad decision. So, but we've improved since then, and we'll do better next time.
Can Melton help you? I know he's got some return experience and kick coverage stuff.
Right now, you know, Bo's doing a good job practicing. He's been here a limited time, so we'll see how that goes in the future.
What's the challenge with their returner? Well, I'm not going to try to say his last name.
Can you say that again?
What's the challenge with their returner?
Well, he's got great size, and he's got great speed, and obviously he's put on tape. He has the ability to finish. I think that's his third one in the National Football League, if I'm not mistaken. So he's hard to tackle. You know, he's a slippery player. We only had to cover him really one time the last time we played him up there at their facility. So it'll be a good challenge in this weather. He's certainly going to get some returns against us, so hopefully we'll tackle him.
I heard an interview with Pat O'Donnell talking about what he does for Mason on his holds that had more detail than I ever knew could be. How good has this combination been between Pat and Mason on the holds?
Well, I think the battery has gotten better, you know, with all three guys. Certainly it starts with, you know, the snapper. And so I think they work extremely hard at it, multiple days during the course of the week. So I think it's gotten better. And you know, Mason's very particular how he likes the ball, and it could change depending on the wind, depending on playing indoors, playing outdoors, and what hash we're on and those sort of things. So I think they have a great respect for each other's work. They certainly have a good friendship, which helps, and they've done a really good job, I think, helping the rookie and Jack Coco get a little bit better as well.
In evaluations, can you zoom in with game tape to see how the kick went or the hold went, or do you do most of this on the practice field to work on that?
Well, really all of the above. You know, we have handheld cameras and wide-angle cameras and all kinds of things where they can look at what they're doing. We do a bunch of different drills for the holder as well to kind of make sure his eyes are on the target and those things. So I think all of the above, to answer your question. They're diligent about the work they do.
When you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is Tariq Carpenter a guy that is in a position now where you're even like scheming for him to make plays? Has he gotten that good at special teams?
Well, I think a bunch of those guys we scheme for, you know, without giving much away, there's a bunch of guys now that have started to ascend, started to play better. So I don't know if you can notice it or not, but we move a lot of them around, and we're putting them in different positions for different reasons. A lot of it has to do with maybe what they're trying to do to us, not so much what we're actually trying to do. We're trying to play a little bit of a chess match with kickoff return teams, and they're probably doing the same with us. But he's certainly gotten better along with Thump, and we think a bunch of the guys have improved.
When you evaluate Keyshawn's long return in Miami, at the very end, do you look at that as like, could he have done something to score, or was the opportunity not?
Well, you know, again, there were a lot of factors in it. We would love to have seen him square the field maybe a little bit earlier than towards the end. It would have maybe put him in a little bit more of a race with Bethel. I think staying out wide, Kevin gave him the angle the whole time to get there, but it was a great effort. Really, some incredible blocks on that. There was a really nice wave in there for him to ride, and so he did a great job with it. Did a really good job holding on to the ball at the end, trying to feed off of those two blocks at the end, and so it was good. Worked out good for us.
Would a player like Tariq coming out of Tech, you know, and I mean, it looked like he was going to be a guy who could help out on special teams. You see him ascending. Is that more of fundamentals on how he tackles, or is there a vision thing that a young player needs to learn at this speed, at this level? And
Well, I think, training camp was a little difficult for Reed. He was, came in a little bit heavier and he had some wrist issues. And so I just think it's been a maturation period for him and all the different things we've asked him to do. We've put him at multiple positions on the punt team to get some work out of him. We've put him at multiple positions in all really 4 phases. So again, I think it's our entire group to some degree has improved. They've improved each day. They've improved each week. And I thought as the game was going on a little bit last week, we were doing some things to get us a little bit better, and they're starting to learn how to feed off of each other. And so I'd like to think we're still a work in progress. But him as well as some of the other younger guys have a long way to go. But right now the distance seems a little bit shorter.
Hey, Rich, what happened on the fake punt, and what are your options if they
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options on the fake punt. They blasted us and they bested us. So, I think it was a little bit of for us, we want to try to steal possession. And, we've been in that situation before. Other places I've been, they just did a good job with it and they blasted us pretty good. And that's it. Our defense came out and did a great job, stopped and held them to 3 points. And on the way out there, a lot of those guys were, punching each other in the chest and say, don't worry, we got you. And so it may have a little bit of a momentum for us as well. Who knows?
So they kept their defense on the
They
field.
did
right?
end up keeping their defense out there.
Okay, so then what, you've done this for 2 decades, so you see that, and are you able to say?
We were able to do a lot of stuff. What we did was we ran the fake, and they blasted us pretty good, and we didn't get it. So the answer to your question is yes, we have a lot of options in there. So, but we stuck with the one that we called, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. If you want that ball to bounce back to you, go to the gym.
Hey, Rich, a colleague of mine at ESPN wanted me to ask you this. He's working on a story about interim head coaches and wondered why it's so hard for those guys to get jobs full-time.
Yeah, I'm really got a lot on my plate with the Minnesota Vikings coming in here. I really respect and appreciate the question, but I'm kind of a one-play mentality guy, and I'm on that play right now. So thank you, though.
I can tell him I did my job and asked the question.
Hey, Rich, you, periodically I've asked you kind of about mileposts when you're turning around a special teams group that maybe wasn't as good before you got here. Where do you think you are now? You just got done talking about some of this
What
stuff.
was your major in? Like, were you a psychology major or a philosophy major, or just out of curiosity?
Journalism, but I do.
You asked me
I
all
am,
those philosophical questions, But,
I take
and I appreciate them. I just think there's a time and a place, and again, I think to the question there, I feel like we're on a little bit of a roller coaster, and we're at the very beginning of it, and it's like a click, click, click. I just feel like we're climbing the top of this thing. And I really believe for us as a special teams unit, and we've had some different players now. We're a totally different unit going out there that we played opening day against Minnesota. So I think our challenge is to find a way to get a little bit better each meeting, each walkthrough, each set of practice, and hopefully we can keep getting better as the game goes on. And I know that maybe it's coaches speak, and maybe it's not the philosophical thing you thought I should give you at this particular point, but I really believe that that's what we're trying to do with our guys, is to get them to understand how to play together, how to feed off each other. Complementary football is when we mess up, we got to count on the offense or defense to come out and pick us up. When we give us great field position, we got to count on our offense to go put it in the end zone. And if we can block a punt, or if we can do something, to help our offense, we can do something to help our defense with kickoff team. We'd love for them to stop and give us a 3 and out. Now we can put the punt return team out there. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. We look at the end of each game. How did we help? And did we overcome the good plays to have another good play? And then how did we hurt? And then we overcome that, hopefully to have a good play, not have 2 bad plays in a row. So that's my philosophical answer to your deep question.
What does it say though about the attentiveness of guys that have just come on, like Ennis Gaines or Patrick Taylor, and have really made plays for your units?
Yeah, and again, I would say it's the constant repetition of what we're trying to do, right? Do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, the way you're supposed to do it, and do it over and over and over again. And I think we believe that's kind of what's starting to take place a little bit.